ここは、マリーナ・ディ・カンポ空港。イタリア、エルバ島にあります。ここから、対岸少し北のピサの斜塔、そしてベネチア、ベニスまで向かいます。
Don't worry too much
Yep.
about that.
Yep. Keyboard is not responding to my input, so I have no throttle.
Mayday, mayday.
Can you imagine? Oh God, how crazy is this?
It actually happened to me earlier. I had to go
Yep,
out.
I can't. Yeah, I can't go anywhere. It's happened. This is the second stream. It's happened out of 3. I taxi in position and then nope.
It just breaks.
Yep, it just breaks. So gotta leave and come back.
Oh,
Always in the TBM though.
No, it happened in the caravan as well. So I'll have to just catch up to y'all. Unfortunately.
yeah, we'll just keep a steady speed so we can catch up. But yeah, that must be a little difficult.
So frustrating sometimes.
Honestly, it really depends on the types of bugs you see after updates, I know. Yeah, the tower is not like the Eiffel Tower, the CN Tower, or any tower. Like, no, it's small. It's leaning. The highest it is, the worse it would be.
Exactly. So it would be standing if it was as high as the Eiffel
It's
Tower.
part of different construction. You have a church right next to it, and so
it
it's
said by 1990 it had a 5.5 degree tilt, but they did some stabilization through remedial work between 1993 and 2001, which reduced the tilt to 3.97. So
wow, they were able to move the whole tower by about 2 degrees.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah. They did their best. 1.5 something for sure.
1.5. Wow.
You know, by the way, I find that the scenery over Italy looks great. It's very sharp. I mean, from above, I'm looking down. I noticed when we did our little test flight, I'm like, wow, this area looks really good. And Venice, which of course we're going to see a little bit later, if you haven't been to Venice, it looks spectacular. It looks fantastic. And was relaying some of my memories to a few people when I went to Venice myself, and a very memorable trip by train from the mainland out across the lagoon at dawn, and I have this very vivid memory. So it's going to be really cool to sort of relive that and go out and But they did mention Shetlands and Orkneys, so you're going to have some of these islands that you would maybe try to reach. Greenland, Iceland, you're hopping your way across, so they'll be in there. They did mention Northern Ireland for sure, but they're going to try to get all of Ireland.
They're having difficulty with getting engine and have all the rights to and make it all good. That takes time, so.
Yeah.
And then of course, you have to do all your color corrections, and there's just so many details that you need to make on your own. You need to do all the generation for the buildings as well. So it's a process that takes time, and I mean, they're only a few months away already for that update. So I would kind of hope that they get access to that data soon enough.
Yeah.
And even then, I mean, every time these planes are getting so big, and even though you have big control surfaces, these planes are not meant to be played like a TBM or an XCub. These are supposed to be flown, you know, professionally, which means just have a few turns and just take off and land. It's not meant for the kind of stress that we would want to put on those planes.
Right.
So yeah, it is a different point of view, I would think. But honestly, the sim is made for you to try anything. So if you don't want to fly with an autopilot, sure, fly manually and actually learn to fly that way. It's pretty cool. It's difficult, very difficult, but it's cool.
Yeah, I remember I wanted to learn to play guitar, and my buddy, he's pretty good. And he's like, well, you had all these, these pedals and these. But wow, I'm quite high up at the moment. So let me.
Yeah, I do want to talk about one thing because I kind of found it funny that it was leaked before its time. It was posted later, but it was the development roadmap on the Q&A. It was kind of leaked ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because it was dated for the update, and so Tuesday, Thursday, there were 2 days where we technically knew the development roadmap ahead of time. Just quickly glancing over it, one thing that we got right is the Future Discovery Series Episode 9 for December 17th. That was indeed VR. So that was one thing that at least we got right on the whole thing. I actually didn't bother to verify any other stuff. Recently, I'll have to go over that and do it.
Yeah, it's history, and it's not every day you see something like that. It's kind of like seeing a Model T Ford going down the street. You don't see them every day. I know. And so I thought, that's really neat. I'm gonna bring it up. So I put the link in the events text on the official Discord. So if you want to check it out, I think it's 19.99 euro. Maybe what, 25? $25.
It's worth a fun, I guess. It depends if you want to really go with it, because this is the kind of plane that has, we call it specific interactions. You're kind of using the mouse to enact what your hands would be doing, including pushing levers, and manually turning the propeller to start it. So you have to yourself pull and get your propeller moving, and then it will start up afterwards. But you have these little views, so it's very mouse intensive, we call it. So it's really what I call a hands-on plane.
It's definitely not automated. It's
no autopilot. No, that's for sure. You do have magnetos on there. That's pretty cool. You have these little switches, old style, and very well modeled. And by the way, we have not been paid for any of this.
No, I haven't purchased it yet. Actually, I need to. I just haven't done it yet, and I just thought it was really cool, and I love all those. Somebody made a Vega, like Amelia Earhart. I love those old planes. So.
Yeah, those are pretty cool, I have to say. Yeah.
It's part of what I'm looking forward to when they get the SDK going and we start seeing a little bit more aircraft, or at least, maybe not as much as scenery, obviously, because aircraft are more.
Well, by looking at this plane, I mean, the SDK looks great for basic planes, and it looked really well made. The details, qualities are there. So it looks like the beginnings here. Now things like a Cessna, I can understand, will take a bit more time, but the moment the CRJ release, the Aerosoft CRJ gets released, honestly at this point, I doubt there'll be any excuse for anyone not to start looking at the SDK more seriously.
Yeah. And do we know what's coming? I imagine it's 2021, but I mean, do we have any idea?
I looked on it recently. Aerosoft, again, they have published other announcements about it, but the tone is pretty close. They're hoping for something this year, but they're not promising it, because the moment you promise something, well, you know where things go. So, and it's difficult because there's a bug. You contact Asobo, you work on it together. These things don't have timelines. Certain bugs you can't just say, okay, that will just take a day.
Right.
You have to figure out all these things. So there's a lot of work in this, but it is coming soon. I would think between the next 2-3 months we'll see something. So the thing is maturing. Don't forget, the sim's been out since August now. We're in November, end of November. So it's really just a matter of time. So I think we're really close to the point where we can say the SD key is good enough for general aviation, basic general aviation, and a few more complex systems. Not a full A320, 330, or 757, complex stuff like that. So yeah, I think we're getting there though. It's really almost half a year, so it seems like they're on track. I know a year from now you'll probably have a few offerings, maybe 20, 30 true offerings of planes that have, that are serious quality, payware and freeware and so on. So we're getting there. Avionics.
Yeah. Doing
Yeah, really loves it.
acrobatics. Cool.
Yeah, and we're getting close to.
We are. Venice is just right. It's this
Yeah.
lagoon up ahead, and I'm happy to see that when I did that trip all those years ago,